Although you know when the live stream
Is
is
this gonna like
on.
work today?
What?
No, it's not.
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like I kind of like just want to take this out and then put it around like how it should be.
Oh, but
Because it can come off. I just don't want to.
It's not gonna fit with it. Oh wait.
That's the reason how it. That's the only way it could have got like this.
Yeah.
So.
You know you guys
I
are.
don't want to fuck with it either.
I'm
Then
good.
we get in trouble.
Yeah, I
Oh,
don't.
wait.
I'm like, cause you have to let
I
them
don't
take it off, but I'm not gonna do
I don't
it.
want to fuck with it.
Okay.
Then we get in trouble.
Here we go.
Fuck.
The live stream's on.
Yep, I know.
Oh.
That's why I was waiting for you guys to stop.
Wait.
Yes.
It picked up us cursing.
Yes.
Yes.
Why didn't you say
Why didn't you
anything?
say
You guys were
something?
fumbling with it. I said the live stream's coming on. You ignored me.
You guys
Listen
are
next time.
listening.
All right, here we
No,
go.
why didn't you tell it to stop cursing?
You're gonna go. Hold on, Irvin. Hold on.
Oh.
You're Levi. Whatever.
We didn't say it over the radio.
You know we wouldn't have. You know we wouldn't have just.
Oh, whatever.
Okay, just
You're
go.
grown.
Start the show.
Let's go.
Start the
All
show.
right,
Get it over
don't
with.
rush
Let's
me.
go.
Don't rush
Go.
me.
Let's get this done.
Do not rush me, gentlemen.
Hey, this is gonna be a good show.
Here we go.
It don't seem like it.
Yeah. Oh, so good. So.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to your station, your voice, the Galaxy. You're listening to the CineManiacs here. Tonight, we have a very special show to you. It's our second sci-fi show. Nothing really fancy tonight. Just Blade Runner 2049. Talking about that. That's pretty
Our
fun.
mics aren't on.
I know, not yet. I was waiting for the introduction.
Why did you look at us?
I was waiting for the
Expect us to
introduction yet.
talk?
I was waiting for the introduction yet. Hold on.
Yeah.
What happened?
Let's
Anywho.
go.
Anywho, let's meet the members for tonight's show.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm ripping. I'm zoning out.
I'm Steven.
I'm Levi.
I'm Irvin. They're the sad Cinemaniacs tonight, and
That's
tonight.
sad. I'm perfectly fine.
What's supposed to do with you?
We're
You
all
guys,
just tired.
you guys are fine. It's a very meh
You
kind of day.
Today's just like a. I don't want to do this today at all.
Okay.
Okay.
The microphone.
Not you guys. Just this microphone.
Oh, the
Oh.
microphone. He's talking about the microphone.
Okay.
This is insane.
This is pretty bad.
Like,
Well, yeah, that microphone's kind of weird. But
Yeah, I'm
anywho,
not gonna have a bunch of Debbie Downers on the show. Let's.
I'm sorry to put up with it for a bit, alright? So,
so like I said, tonight's show, it's our second sci-fi show that we've done in our history of being on the radio station here. The first one we did was somewhere around.
it was in
HBZ.
When Life
November.
came out.
it was
That's
April.
right. It was April. That's right. So that was our first
Oh, yeah,
sci-fi
it was
show.
April. That was earlier.
Yeah.
It was-
You weren't there for that one, Steven, so that's
Oh.
why.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah, you were
playing
doing
HBZ.
HBZ.
I was playing HBZ in around this time, and then I started modding less in April when you did the sci-fi show. Okay.
Gotcha.
Yep.
But yeah, that was the first one we had. So that one was kind of a more broad sci-fi show. We talked about pretty much everything with aliens and space, kind of like that. Tonight, it's a lot different because we're homing in on one thing in particular, which is androids and artificial intelligence and that sort of thing, which is really fun. So the marquee of the night for tonight, we're really excited, is Blade Runner 2049, the newest Blade Runner film that came out 35 years after the original one. So
Yeah.
quite a while fans had to wait, especially the ones that saw Blade Runner originally in the theaters. So they had to wait a long time. We had to wait just a little bit, but nonetheless, it's finally here, and so we're ready to talk about it for you guys tonight. But along with that movie, we're going to talk about some other ones we have. So for the first half of our show, we have movie review. We have The Martian with Matt Damon, Metropolis, which is a 1927 silent film directed by Fritz Lang, who was a German filmmaker. We have Ex Machina in 2014. Then for the second half, we're going to be doing both Blade Runners. So Blade Runner 1982, directed by the great Ridley Scott, and then Blade Runner 2049 by, let me get his name right. It's
Denis Villeneuve.
Denis Villeneuve. I almost said Denise again. I'm glad you corrected me again. So Denis Villeneuve. So that's what the show is looking like for tonight. So gentlemen, before we get any announcements before we start the show?
No.
Alrighty, so movie to review number 1, we have The Martian, which came out in 2015, starring Matt Damon. Let's see. Well, he's the main star of that movie. That's really all that matters. But I know the guy who played Harry in Dumb and Dumber is in it too. I forgot what his name was.
Daniels.
Jeff Daniels. There we go. That's what I always call him. I call him Harry from Dumb and Dumber. But Jeff Daniels is in it.
We literally had this talk last night
Just, we did?
about how we talk, how if we don't know the name of the
Oh,
actor, we
yeah.
talk about their most
Right.
famous.
I mean, he's the movie I know him best in. So
It's not Harrison Ford. It's Indiana Jones.
Exactly.
No, it's Han Solo.
Yeah, it's Han
Star
Solo, boy.
Wars.
Anywho, The Martian, 2015, came out, and it's the story of a guy who basically gets stranded on Mars and has to survive for a long period of time. What's so funny, Steven? Is the way I said it?
No, it's just Levi trying to fix this
Oh, that. Oh,
because
it's,
it won't work.
Yeah.
And it won't like adjust.
it's
itself.
angry.
We
But
really
anywho.
need to fix that.
Yeah, we can do it like halfway through the show.
But anywho, so back to The Martian. So it's a great movie. One of my favorite Ridley Scott films that he's made. So Levi, you wanna? This is a movie that you and I both have
You
seen.
can do it.
Want me to do it?
You like it more than I. Like, it's a good movie and I like it, but you're more excited about it.
All right. So it's been a while since I saw. I think let's see, about 1 year ago. I think maybe even earlier. Anywho, so The Martian tells the tale of a space crew that is in space, obviously on a mission, and they go to Mars to do research there on the planet. And what happens? A big space storm on Mars basically, wipes them out, and they have to escape Mars before, of course, they die. So they're all on this crew. Matt Damon, his character is also part of the crew. I forgot what his name was in the movie. His exact name, his character's name.
Oh, Mark Watney.
Mark Watney. There we
Yeah.
go. Good old Mark. So yeah, Mark Watney, his crew leaves him behind as the storm is happening, and when the storm is over, he awakens and finds himself on Mars by himself. Did you say alone?
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. So yeah, he's alone, and he has no sense of communication with them because they lost all that. He's down on food. He's really low because, of course, they've been eating it all together as a crew, so he has to figure out that. And also, he was injured the first time he wakes up, too. He has, like, a spear and, or a little, thing in his abdomen. He has to go fix that
Debris.
automatically.
Yeah.
Debris from the storm. So that's the opening of the movie, and slowly the crew learns that, hey, guys, we done goofed. We left our board mark on Mars, planet with no human life, city of human life, and so we have to go. They don't find out until the very end. NASA, on the other hand, is freaking out because they're just like, oh my god, we left the guy on Mars. This doesn't look bad for us publicity-wise, so we have to figure out a way to get him back.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the microphone?
No, it's funny because just thinking about how this would if this actually happened in real life, how funny this would be. Just yeah, we left someone on Mars on accident, so we have to go get him back.
No, it's just the way they say it. It's like, hey guys, we kind of messed up. Oh, what'd you do? Mars? Yeah, we left a dude on there. Oh, like he's dead? No, he's alive, sadly, but
We just
Thought he
We
was
forgot
dead,
him.
but no, they didn't forget him. They thought he was dead. That's
Yeah.
why. Yeah.
oh,
yeah, they thought it was dead.
you missed that.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
they-
he got hit by debris, and they were all getting on the ship during the storm, and they just assumed he was dead because they weren't getting any response or anything from him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Except he was knocked
Yeah,
unconscious.
he was just knocked unconscious. And so, the movie switches back between both the perspective of Mark Watney and NASA. Obviously, them trying to see what's up happening on Mars now that they found he's alive, and Mark Watney trying to get more communication with home. Hey guys, I'm here on Mars, help me out. And my favorite scenes in the movie are obviously the ones with Matt Damon when he's trying to figure out how to survive on the planet. He has to basically all of his training that he's had on Earth, he has to really put that into use because now he's alone on Mars, and so he figures a way out to grow food for himself. He grows potatoes. That's his new food that he eats.
He's a botanist.
Yeah, he's a botanist, so he knows really how to harness his what do you say, his botany powers, or he says.
Just-
His plants.
Mars
Oh,
will
no,
fear
I
my
know-
botany
I know,
powers.
I can't remember what it is he says. Yeah.
Yeah, but so he learns how to figure that out. Eventually, he learns how to start communicating with NASA back and forth through a really they call it the old way of communicating, where it's just they put the rover in front, and there's these little images on the sides of him, and he has to rotate around the rover does to communicate with the people on Mars. They have the same diagram laid out. And that's how he communicates with them. And so once they find out that okay, Mark Watney's alive, they start establishing a mission to go back and get the guy. And fun fact, they go back and they get him. It's a long process, of course, because Mars is really far away. They just got done visiting the planet. Now they have to turn around and go back. And really, I just love the way. I mean, it sounds like a boring plot, but the way the movie just flows and the way it cuts back and forth is really nice. And because of the way the editing style and how the soundtrack and the score are going there too, There's even a part where like they're both trying to figure out what to do, and David Bowie's Starman plays in the background. I'm just like, yes, that's what we need in this movie. So it was awesome. But yeah, no, they go back and get him. It's a dangerous rescue mission, but eventually do get him, and he's kind of celebrated as a hero back on Earth for what he's done and how he survived on Mars to come back and tell the true tale. And so at the movie, we see him teaching a class about like astronomy and physics and that kind of stuff, telling them basically like, hey, here's how I survived on Mars, and here's what you need to know about space and the wonders of space and all that kind of stuff. So he's a professor, and it's a really, really awesome story. I love this movie a lot. I realize I butchered the plot really bad, but that's only because I'm just so excited talking about this movie. But you just have to see it to believe it, and it's one of Ridley Scott's. It's one of his better films that he's made. I love it a lot. So, anything to add, Levi? As I was sadly explaining the plot.
Yeah, I want to know your.
You did good. I think it's a good movie. I like it. Of Ridley Scott's films, it's one of the ones I really like. I like more than the other. I'm not a big fan of Ridley Scott. Like, I like his movies, but not all of them.
Mm-hmm.
They're just, I don't know. Ridley Scott doesn't do it for me. So I like some of his movies, but not all of them. Is good. It's got an all-star cast, which I think
it does.
I mean, like, even though there's movies where you have an all-star cast and like that doesn't mean anything, but then there's movies that do have all-star casts and they each do a really good job with their performances. I think this movie is one of those instances where it had an all-star cast and they each did good with their performances, because it wasn't like, oh, they're just in this movie just because. It wasn't one of those where it's like, oh, you're in, yeah.
Isn't what's his name? Donald Glover's in this film too, isn't he?
Yeah.
I forgot. He plays one of the scientists that helps him.
Yeah,
Kind
the
of
guy that shows them how to get him back. They hire him.
The pen.
So,
The pen
yeah,
scene.
with the pen.
It's fun.
So yeah,
It's a good
he's
scene.
him and yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Name and yeah.
great job.
So I was gonna say other names, but
No, I agree
like,
with you.
everybody knows. Like, it's just a huge cast. Jeff Daniels, Kristen Wiig, Sean Bean,
That's right. I
Matt
forgot she was in
Damon, Mackenzie Davis.
Isn't Michael Pena in this film as well?
Mhm.
I forgot
And
he plays
Kate
him.
Mara,
Mm-hmm.
and what's the one guy? Jessica Chastain.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, Sean Bean was in this movie?
Yeah.
And he didn't die?
He didn't die. How about that? Oh, and Chiwetel Ejiofor. If I didn't say that already, I don't know.
No,
But-
you didn't make that joke.
Yeah. What joke?
No, okay.
What?
Forget it. Keep going.
Okay. It's based off the book. My youngest brother Luke really, really likes The Martian, and he has the book, and he bought the movie after I bought the movie, and yeah, it's good. It's a good. I don't know what else to add. It's a good movie. It's a good sci-fi movie. It's your typical like
Rescue movie, yeah.
human spirit movie.
Yeah.
Because like all the other ones, Castaway, and where it's a one-man show and whatnot of survival. So Life of Pi, it's all the same thing, the human spirit and whatnot. So
Just want to go on the ratings.
Well, I was gonna add on just one small thing. Originally, going into this movie when it first came out, I thought it was gonna be like okay because like Matt Damon does a lot of these films. And I'm just like okay, so I'm expecting the like typical kind of Matt Damon performance, just like him, kind of like being himself just a little bit.
Mhm.
But
that's what it was. There was nothing special about his performance. It was just Matt Damon being himself in space. That's all it was.
I mean,
Matt Damon was famous.
but for like
It was like there was nothing special about his performance at all.
Is
The
that just
only
every
thing,
Matt Damon movie
the-
features
the-
a new location?
the only thing special about his performance, I'd say, is like when he actually went castaway in the movie, and like you see like a couple months went by, and he looks just like Tom Hanks did in Castaway. He got skinnier. He's got a beard. He eventually shaves it off, though. Like that was the only thing I ever saw in the movie that was like, oh, this stands out with Matt Damon. No, it was Matt Damon being himself in space the whole time. It was like, wasn't anything special or to his acting, in my opinion.
yeah, his acting was decent, but I just loved the story a lot. I love the way how, it's a lot of terms that astronauts use, especially when he's on Mars. He talks a lot about like science and stuff like that. But it's something that I can understand,
Mm-hmm.
which made me like love the story even more because I'm like, okay, I understand exactly what he's doing now, and it's just the way that like they have the story flow, and we see him from his struggles and how like eventually at one point his like it like blows up, right? Remember like the tent like blows up and everything, so he has to like start back over again.
Yeah.
And it's just about triumph, and going higher than you really would. You know,
It does have a good.
yeah.
It does have a good pace to it. Like it's not too slow
Oh,
or
yeah.
fat. Like it is a good paced movie. Because when we go back to him, it's slower than what it is at NASA.
Yeah.
Because at NASA, it is quick pace. Like they keep going. But when it's back to him, like it does slow down a bit. But it shows like how he grows with his survival skills.
Yeah, and I just love, especially like of course his acting isn't anything special, but there is kind of like a little like he has like a little certain charm to like I'm like okay this is a good Matt Damon like it's he's kind of memorable in this performance in this movie, but I enjoyed everything about it. It's a movie that like I'll always watch, like I'll always be down to watch it because I just love this movie a lot, and my mom loves it too. We did not expect to like this movie at all until we watched it. We're just like hey this movie's pretty good, and so we like it. And one of I wouldn't say it's my favorite Ridley Scott film, but it's up there. It's pretty
not
up
my
there.
favorite either, but yeah, it's pretty. It's one of the other ones I really like. So.
Absolutely. But yeah. So I've said everything I need to say, Levi. You want to say anything else?
I'm done. Let's go into the ratings.
All right. What do you want to give it?
Oh, you want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
Okay. Why? Because
Definitely.
you're gonna scare.
I have to run away.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
All right. I'd give The Martian. I'd give it either a solid 8 or an 8.1 is what I would give The Martian.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty good.
I would give The Martian an 8.8.
Okay.
I'm actually surprised though, because I thought you were gonna give it like a 7.5 or something. So.
No, it gets like an 8.1 for me.
All right. So now we're not too far off. So not bad.
Yeah.
But anywho, so that is The Martian. It's a great movie. Obviously, I butchered the plot, like I said, but I bought it on Blu-ray, and you guys should definitely go check it out as well. Either buy it or just rent it out. It's a really good movie. One of Matt Damon's good ones. So there you go. All right, moving on. Metropolis, 1927. That's a really old movie. We're in this list right now.
Yeah, it's like
A lot.
It's
a lot.
almost 100 years
Yeah,
old. It's
yeah.
90 years old.
You haven't taken history of film? Yeah. Gotcha.
Metropolis is
I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember a lot from this movie.
okay.
Me either.
could be a quick one.
Well, I watched it recently, so should I give the plot again?
I didn't know you. If I would have known that, I would have talked about The Martian. But guess what? Go again.
Yeah.
I feel bad.
because
man.
I don't remember.
I wish you would have said something. Yeah.
All right. Well, I thought you guys knew it anyway. So.
No, I don't remember.
No.
Yeah.
So, Metropolis, made in 1927 by German director Fritz Lang. It's a black and white film of the silent era, so obviously it's going to be black and white, no sound to it at all. Even though I just stated that.
I was gonna say.
Moving forward. So, Metropolis, even though it was made in the past, it really reflects on about the future and this kind of utopian society about what could be, you know, the flying cars and that kind of thing. The way of the future, really.
Mhm.
And so, it takes place in this made-up what? What did I say?
The way never mind.
The way of the future?
Yeah, you said it like twice.
No.
The way of the future, the way of the future.
Bro, you know what movie that's from? No?
I don't think so.
Oh, it's from the movie The Aviator. It's the very last lines. He just repeats it over and over again while looking in the mirror in the bathroom.
Oh, I remember that scene.
I
Yeah.
thought what movie should repeat.
You seen The Aviator?
I forgot he said that in the movie.
Oh,
though.
yeah, the last lines of the whole movie.
Yeah, when he's in the mirror. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Okay. The way of the future. Alright, go.
But yeah, no, so it's about like the flying cars and how like things could be, and so it's in a city called Metropolis. And it's supposed to be like this perfect city, right? Where like nothing really bad ever happens. It's this gleaming, awesome place to be, and it's a place where everyone should live. And so we follow around the son of the famous director.
We're listening.
We follow the son of a famous inventor who, I should say actually the main guy from Metropolis who founded the whole place in general. And so his son's on the way of finding, I think he's finding like a bride or something, or like a new wife. And he finds out that there's this one girl, her name is Maria, and she's beautiful. And he's like, what's her, like, who is she? I don't care about these other like girls that my father wants to marry. I want to marry her and all that stuff. So he tries to find out who she is, and in the process of trying to find her, he finds out that the city, the way like everything functions in the city, the way all the towers are, you know, all the lights and all the like, way everything moves, is by the workers that work deep in the basements, I guess you could say.
It's a city underneath the city.
Mm-hmm. The city of the workers, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
The City of Ember?
Sure.
I like that.
But-
just like sure.
The son finds out that his father's city is being operated on by these poor, these workers that, have to work 24/7 to make sure the city is running, spotless and making sure everything's running smoothly. And he's horrified about what he sees. He's like, Father, like, why would you do this to, like, this place? This is a great city. Why do you have people, like, living in misery? And his father says something like, just the way things go in our society. And so, while the son is down there seeing this worker of the city that is made up of these workers, he finds Maria as well. And Maria, to these workers, she tries to express. She's kind of like I want to say like a priest or something like that down there, because she basically, they have like a break every now and then, and they go down to like these catacombs, and that's where she is. She talks to them about how, like, life is wonderful and how one day you guys will be free of this place and something like that. And that's what their whole mindset basically is on. And so what happens, the father, who is, the guy who runs Metropolis, he goes to one of his inventors, the main inventor of his city, and tells him, like, hey, I want to know about this Maria chick down there in the worker city. My son just told me about her. And the inventor's like, what are you talking about? He's like, no, the city, below where this girl Maria speaks. He's like, okay, well, all right then. So what the inventor hey, it didn't drop, it's fine. What the inventor ends up doing is he has this robot that he made, and the founder of the city says, I want you to go and find this girl Maria, take her out, but put your new robot in to convince the workers that, hey, this place is everything, you just go back to work. And so what happens? Well, this new robot, who, fun fact, was the inspiration for C-3PO by George Lucas to make that character.
I can see it.
Yeah, it's that's what he used
That's
for.
what Pete told us.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that.
Basically, so this robot that the inventor makes, they kidnap Maria, and they basically have the form of the robot. They do a little process, and now the robot looks like Maria, and the robot Maria goes back down, and instead of telling the workers basically to go back to work, she kind of ensues a revolt in them, basically telling them to like go revolt instead. And the whole plan backfires, and it's like, well, crap, we wanted her to stop the workers from, going to being uplifting. Now she's to make them revolt. And so the movie's basically about, the main point of the movie is, it's like the connection between the mind and the hands is the heart. And so it's all about how the workers are being treated bad. They're the hands, and then the inventor, the main chief of the city, he's obviously the mind. And so the son ends up being, towards the end of the movie, there's this big, like flood scene and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The end of the movie is basically about the son joining hands with his father and the workers as one, and now they finally understand each other and they can work together to make a actually better city instead of having the workers work 24/7, making no progress in their own lives, but making progress in everyone else's life in Metropolis. And the chief of the city can now also work with the workers to make sure everything is running smoothly as well, without having any form of like regret or doubt in the city. So Metropolis is I would say it's advanced for its time.
Yeah.
Definitely a concept.
Mm-hmm.
Even the way it was shot, like the different title sequences and like the way that the opening Metropolis, right? It's something that no one's ever seen before. I believe it was one of the highest like films to see, like I guess, like opening weekend in Germany. It was like one of the best like films that made the most money back then because everyone wanted to go see this movie.
Yep.
And it's been the different footage has been found, and now it's been like obviously restored to better conditions. But it's a great story, and it's all about basically saying that you can't have one without the other, and I think it's a great story. But yeah, it's what do you guys, if you can remember anything from the movie, what would you guys kind of describe? What were your thoughts on the movie?
I mean, it was, like you said, it was like futuristic for its time. Obviously now it's like a little bit dated. But it was a good sort of like idea of what the future would be like.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember that the one thing that kind of got on my nerves was how long the flood scene was.
That's the longest scene I think.
It took, oh my god.
And Pete told us that like pretty much the entire budget went towards that flood scene
Yeah.
because they have to like wreck the set pretty much.
Yeah.
There wasn't like special effects. It was like, oh, let's wreck
Yeah.
the set pretty much. Douse it with water. Boom,
Yeah.
flood scene.
I thought the whole the android. I thought the design of the android was really cool, and that whole scene of the android sort of like replicating Maria's
Mhm.
body.
Yeah.
I thought that scene was really cool.
It's like the classic mad scientist kind of vibe I got
Yeah.
during that scene. And it's crazy. The actress who played Maria obviously played the robot too because it looked just like her because it was her.
Yeah.
And she was famous a lot because of this film, obviously because Maria and all that. But she went on to have a very successful career after the film. But yeah, it's definitely one of those things that in today's films, especially like Steven Spielberg's AI, artificial intelligence. That's kind of the theme back here as well in Metropolis. What would it be like if robots were walking among us? That kind of vibe.
Levi.
If you can remember anything in the movie, what would you say? Did you say it's a good movie?
Good movie.
All right. Originally, when I watched this movie, I watched it for the first time before I came to Webster. So, like, I think a couple months before I came to Webster, and I hated the movie. I thought it was terrible because, for one, I wasn't watching a lot of silent films during that time. So I was like, okay, I think this is dumb. I don't like silent films. But also, I think I wasn't open-minded as I was in history of film because in history of film, if you're in that class, if you've taken it, you watch a lot of silent films and a lot of black and white films, and they make you open your eyes more to the possibilities of what you're really using your imagination and creativity to think of what could happen in that movie. Because now we always think about, oh, it's like the best picture, best sound. Back then it was like, what's the story like? Forget the sound, forget the picture. The picture's crackly and all that stuff. No sound at all. But what's the story telling you? And so this time around, I really loved it. I enjoyed it a lot. I even told Pete that too. I said this movie is way better the second time around, and I would watch it again because, like I said, I'm more open-minded this time around to silent films in general, and it's just one of those films now that I can always look back on and go, yep, I know what it's about. I know exactly what it's about. So, it's a pretty good film. So I have nothing else to say about this film. You guys have anything else to say before we go to the ratings?
I honestly don't know if I can give this movie a rating.
Okay.
Because I've only seen it one time and I don't remember a lot from it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to give it a rating just because I don't remember it.
That's understandable. So
I'll leave
guess-
it to you.
I guess it's just me then.
Yeah.
So I would give Metropolis, I would say about a 7.8. It's a pretty good movie. Obviously, I would watch it again, but I think 7.8 is accurate for what I think now. So yeah, Metropolis.
That's fair.
All right, so Ex Machina. So this is a movie that I know
God,
Levi.
we're already almost halfway done and it's only
Yeah.
30 minutes.
I'm not trying to rush at all. I'm just
100%
going through what I'm
confident.
doing.
Wow.
It's like
Yeah.
a few minutes before 10.
Keep in mind, I'm not rushing at all, so I'm just like going with the flow.
That's alright. We'll probably take a bit of time. with the
You
last
wanna
So-
take?
It's
this
been a
one?
minute since I've seen the movie, but I can.
Alright.
I like how all of us are just
I can
like,
take
it's been a
whack
while.
at it.
Are you sure? Okay.
No,
like,
you do it, because I
I
literally
was
don't
gonna say,
remember
if you don't
crap.
remember it.
I don't remember much about it, so you try.
Alright. So Ex Machina, it really just has. There's only 3 stars, only 3 actors in the whole movie. It's Domhnall Gleeson, Alicia Vikander, and Oscar Isaac.
Take me out there for counting the other android that comes in later. Wait, no. It's just her.
I was gonna say, well, I
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
There are other androids, but
I don't
they're
think
her.
Oh, yeah, you're
They're
right.
her, yeah.
It's her just look
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, keep going.
Okay.
I forgot that threw me off when I watched the
Yeah,
movie
you
too.
threw me off for a minute. I was like, it was 4? It was, but yeah, so there's just the 3 of them that are in it, and what happens is Domhnall Gleeson's character wins this competition to work alongside Oscar Isaac, who at the time during the movie, he is like the most successful person like in the world when it comes to artificial intelligence, because he actually created an artificial intelligence that does everything like you would want an artificial intelligence to do, an AI to do.
I was gonna say, just call it.
Yeah,
AI.
so Domhnall Gleeson wins the competition. He gets to work alongside with Oscar Isaac, and the AI is played by Alicia Vikander, and I forgot what the name is.
I did.
Of the robot, of her
Of the
name.
robot's name.
What
Oh, her name.
was. Man, that upsets me. Anyways, but
Just
so
call her Alicia Vikander.
so what happens is he's there to get to know her. So Oscar Isaac can like observe like feelings.
Like how she interacts with
Yeah,
other
how she
people.
interacts with other people besides her creator, him. And she ends up hinting towards Domhnall Gleeson that it's not what it seems. There's something else going on here. And as the movie continues to go further, the mysteries like unravel as to what is going on with Oscar Isaac and his AIs. But then at the end, it gets really
It gets really intense.
yeah, and like things change and are
I
different.
mean,
Like
we can
from what
it's
you
been
had
3
thought.
years. We can talk more about if you're trying to avoid spoilers. We can talk a little bit more about it because
That's
it's
true.
been
Yeah,
3
true.
years since the movie.
I just have a question.
What's up?
About the movie. So I've obviously heard nothing but great things about Ex Machina.
Yeah, it's
You've
really-
told me that I should go
it's
and see
really
it.
great
My
movie.
question is,
It really is.
is there? Because I haven't seen the movie at all. My question is, does like the robot have like a relationship, like a love relationship at all, or anything like that, or is it just like with the main character?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Because she ends up dressing herself up to look more human than
Okay.
to get Domhnall Gleeson's approval of her. Like, you know how, like, she won't think that he likes her because she's an AI, but if she looks more human, acts more human,
Then he'll
maybe
like her.
he'll accept her. So, yeah. But, so she does do that. Like, she develops an emotional attachment to Domhnall Gleeson. And I can't remember. Domhnall Gleeson doesn't.
I think at first he doesn't. I feel
He
like
doesn't, like, he thinks she's beautiful at first.
But he doesn't
But then
think
he
of her.
understands, yeah.
he
that
understands
doesn't-
why she's doing.
He
it.
doesn't want yeah, and then you're right.
Mhm.
He understands why she's doing it, and he thinks she's beautiful, but he doesn't, like, want an emotional attachment, I think. Like a relationship.
Yeah, it's on those sorts.
Yeah. But, so yeah, and Oscar Isaac, he ends up, because he's the villain. Because, yeah, he, tries to keep Domhnall Gleeson there longer than what, like, the time length was for the competition, how long you'd be spending with him, because he wants him to continue to get to know and interact with his AI, so if something goes wrong, it happens to him first before... It happens to Domhnall Gleeson first before Oscar Isaac.
Yeah. It also then kind of turns to like a robotic misery.
Yeah.
Oh, like the Stephen King, like that misery.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it involve a big
No, it doesn't.
Cinder
breaking ankles?
No.
No.
okay, dang. All right.
I mean, murder occurs, but
Yeah. But
that's a different movie,
I
Brenda.
know.
what?
I said
Stop
Red
it.
Rum.
Stop it.
Oh.
I know it's a different.
I know.
But when I first heard about this movie, like, I didn't think too much about it. I was just like, oh, it's another little indie sci-fi film. But then, like, critics came out and loved it, and other people went out and saw it, and it just became like a huge indie phenomenon. And I was like, okay. And then it got nominated at all the
Okay.
award shows, and I was just like, okay, maybe I'll try. Maybe I'll check it out. And then I bought it and watched it, and it just surprised me with how good it is. Like, I was not expecting it to be as good as what it was, and like just how great of a movie it was. Like, everybody was right when they said like it's a great movie, and then I watched it and I was like, wow, they were right. I wasn't expecting it to be as good as what it was.
Yeah, I think what got me the most for that movie was the ending. Like that ending where you know,
Yeah.
and you don't really know.
Yeah.
You really like.
Yeah.
It kind of like
mystery.
it leads you to question what happens in the end.
Yeah.
It kind of just like you interpret what happens in the end. You
Yeah.
figure out if what occurred, if what you think occurred actually did occur, or if it was just, you know, if if his experiment was successful or not.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's a movie that makes you question stuff, which is what I always like when I watch a movie.
Yeah.
I remember. So one of my good friends, he and I were in advanced editing color this past semester. Isaac Knopf, you guys probably know him too.
Isaac.
He really, I forgot what we were doing in class for this, but he pulled up this movie for a reason. I think it was the inspiration for one of the movies that he was working on for his narrative project, Trick. And I remember him just saying this movie was incredible and how like it's one of his favorite movies to watch all the time. And so, and then I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. And then I heard it from you guys. So I'm just like, okay, so now this movie is definitely something because, it's around. The word is getting around. So I was like, okay, sometimes I should watch this movie because, I'm one person to really speculate, like, I guess you could say pre-criticize, like, what a movie is before I watch it, which is a very bad thing to do because, especially because I'm a film major now, so it's a very bad thing to be like, you have to go watch them before you find out what it is. And so, I'm getting better at it, but this is one of the films that I have to watch to really get my opinion. Just like Blade Runner, I thought it was stupid until I watched it. I'm just like, okay, I see what it has now. So, but I'm looking interested to watching this film in the future. Maybe with you guys, maybe not.
Now that, like, I know it's not like.
Yeah, you kept saying the whole time.
I mean, I didn't see anything about it, and I didn't see a trailer.
Yeah, no,
All
I
I
didn't
saw was
either.
the poster.
I didn't either. All I saw was the poster.
And I was just like, it looks.
Look good.
Yeah, I only saw
It
the
looked
poster
good.
too. It was just word of mouth that made me go and see it, and then.
Like
Yeah.
I know, but now that I know, like, that it's good.
Yeah.
I've been telling you this. I've been telling you this. That it is a great film.
Yeah, well, you don't listen to us when we tell you about good movies.
Power
So
Rangers.
I'll
is not,
dang it,
yeah,
I was about to say that too.
No.
But
It's a good movie.
I mean, I also
Yeah.
heard about this
Good movie.
movie from word of mouth because I watched this when I was a freshman, so like right before it, right before it got nominated for like Oscars and all that stuff. I watched it then because where did I watch? Oh yeah, I watched it with Pedro because he's the one, he kept talking to me
Oh yeah.
about how much he loved the movie, and it's
Yeah.
like, let me go see if it's worth it because he bought it, and me and him watched it, and a few other friends were just like, and I watched him like, this movie is really good.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it, and then it won an Oscar too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
won Best Visual Effects.
Which
I can see
I
why.
was really happy because it deserved it because the visuals like the movie are fantastic.
Yeah.
Especially because they make her. I mean, I haven't seen the movie, but obviously, like the way they make her look like an actual, like the
Yeah.
the digital and.
It surprised everybody too when it won because everybody was expecting a Mad Max Fury Road.
Because that was like the
It won.
main
It
winner
was
of everything.
because it was just winning so much stuff that
Yeah.
night too.
My mom was like, "What is happening?" And but
Yeah, no one expected Mad Max to win all of those awards.
yeah,
Yeah.
I never expected it.
It was
Nobody
just a
expected like
sweep.
the nominations. It was like
Yeah.
But
All those nominations, like, what was it, like 7?
10.
Oh,
10.
10.
And it
It
won
won
6.
It won.
It won,
It won
6.
6
I
out
was
of
thinking of how
10.
many it won.
Yeah.
Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah.
maybe
It won
another.
the most Oscars that night of all
Yeah.
the movies.
Yeah.
But yes.
Won an Oscar? Suicide Squad.
It
But
did.
that wasn't until.
But anyway, so anything else to say about Ex Machina before we go to the ratings?
Let's
I'm not trying to rush you
Let's
guys.
just get into
try to get in
ratings.
the ratings.
Alright.
Oh my god.
We haven't moved this fast until like our first show.
Yeah.
No, last week we finished. We moved kind of quick with last week's show.
Well, yeah, but
We still finished like around
I feel
11.
like most of our time is gonna be on the next 2 movies anyway.
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. So
You want to?
Alright, so let's see the
I'll
ratings
do
first.
Okay.
I'll give Ex Machina. I'll give it like a solid 8 out of 10.
That's good.
I'd give it a 7.8, maybe a 7.9.
Ooh.
Mm.
Yeah.
Levi's creeping. Alright, anyway, so. Anywho, so.
Wow.
My bad. Anyway, so normally we've reached a part of the show where we take a break, but I want to ask you guys: do you want to take a break?
Yeah, I got. Can we take a break? I gotta pee.
Okay. You could have said you have to use the restroom.
Yeah, let's just
All
take
right.
a break.
So we are going to be right back for the second half of our Blade Runner 2049 show with Blade Runner and obviously Blade Runner 2049, the marquee of the night. So stick around. You're listening to your station, Voice of the Galaxy Radio. The CineManiacs will be right back. Uno momento.